morning. Welcome to my home and welcome to my heart. It's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the work week. Just going to start bouncing right away. Remember, in our spring forest Qigong practice, what we're thinking about is releasing extra energy. And the bouncing process is that space where we're just letting go of extra stuff. In Spring Forest Qigong, Master Lin has taken thousands of years of wisdom and condensed it into this practice now that he calls it the 5 healing elements. And in this moving meditation practice, which we're doing today, we're going to engage in the third healing movement, which is going to be a connecting heaven and earth, and it is bringing in the emotion of peace. I don't know about you, but there's lots of different things to think about in the world these days. If you study history, there's all kinds of things to think about in the world constantly. One of my daughters is in high school and she had to watch a movie on conflict, and she asked me to watch a movie with her, and she had a whole list of war movies, and I thought, because I've watched some war movies and they're hard for me to watch. So together she chose Sound of Music. Yes, thank you. Which is the first movie I ever saw in a theater when I was 6 years old. Just after it came out. That dates me, doesn't it? So, as we were watching the movie, all the anxiety of the conflict that was happening at that time, so much divisiveness in their world, in our world, in the whole world. And, I mean, you could just change the names and change the songs that you sing at every moment, and same thing is happening right now. So much divisiveness. Camps, one side, the other side. Where do we find peace? Well, we create peace. We don't go finding peace. It's not out there. It's right here. This is where we create the peace, right here. And then we carry it with us. And then as we are peaceful and we carry that peace with us, remember in the Peanuts, if you're old enough to know the Peanuts comic, they had all the characters, and then they had Pigpen. And you never saw the kid. You just saw all these clouds of dust coming off of him. And whenever he'd walk around to people, there'd be clouds of dust. Well, we can be like Pigpen. We can have clouds of peace, clouds of love coming off of us that touch each other and are quiet and calming to each other. If you follow me daily or have a look back in the archives, you'll see that Monday was a little bit chaotic, to say the least. I had a dog on a leash. I had puppies over there crying. I had a puppy over here crying. I had chaos in the whole house because we just had newborn litter, and one mother was weaning her litter, and she was just all over the place. But as we've worked with kindness and love in that process, right now the same creatures are in the space. But the 6 little puppies that are ready to go home to their new homes are sleeping, and the mommy with her new puppy is sleeping and happily nursing them. And they're right over there and there. But there's peace now. How do we create peace? How do we invite in peace? By letting go. And this is what the bouncing is for. So as we bounce, in Spring Forest Qigong philosophy, there's good, better, and best. And you can do all of these movements standing up, sitting down, or lying down. So you might think, how would I bounce lying down, and how would I bounce sitting down? Well, my chair is close enough. You could sit like this, and you could bounce your knees, if that's what your body is capable of doing. You could lay and envision yourself bouncing, because the visualization your body doesn't know the difference between a visualization and an actual doing. There are studies that show basketball players, professional basketball players, taking free shots, and the practice and then the visualization. And they did, I don't remember how they did controls and stuff on the study, but it was a pretty validated study. And so they had some basketball players practice free shots for X amount of time every day or every 3 days per week and see what their improvement was after X amount of time. And they had other players visualize themselves shooting those baskets in proper form and perfect form with everything in alignment. And you know what? The ones who visualized their performance were actually better. Because when we visualize, we can tie up all those loose ends and get all those little details correct. So visualization is incredibly powerful. If you know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is, he was in a pretty catastrophic bike accident, and this is how he started his career in helping us understand ourselves. And he had some crushed vertebrae in his spine. And he was on flattened bed rest. I don't know if it was on his stomach or on his back for like 6 weeks. And what he did was he visualized what that spine should look like when it's perfect, what each one of those vertebrae, and he was a chiropractor, so he understood perfectly what they should look like because he'd worked with them. And he understood what they should look like, and he visualized all those little fragments of his spine realigning and all these molecules and all the binding and stuff. He just visualized that daily. He had nothing else to do. He was parked. So he visualized, and he healed himself through that visualization. So our visualizations are incredibly powerful. Standing, sitting, lying down. We can do this practice in any way if we visualize it. Let's allow our hands to float up. What we're doing here in the bouncing is we're releasing. And I always find that as I allow the hands to float up over my head, it really invites my body into alignment. Because if my hips, I'm going to just turn to the side here. If my hips are sticking out, there's pain in my lower back. But as I rise up and I feel those little hitches and those little misalignments, my body, just as I get to about here, my pelvis just wants to go, oh yeah, there, that feels better. And just allows itself to align. As my hands get to about here, my chin wants to drop and my spine here wants to stretch. Listen to your body and pay attention to these tiny little pieces, these tiny little whispers that our bodies give us. And now my body wants to slow down the bounce. And the elbows are relaxed, and the knees are relaxed, and the hands are relaxed. And the shoulders, which were up by my ears. As soon as the shoulders relax, my pelvis again wants to align itself even more, and my knees become more flexible. There's a lot in the shoulders. When we get worried about something, and the opposite of peace is anxiety, right? And one more thing I want to mention while we're up here is that as we're softening all these joints and releasing them all, the hands in the air is also a universal symbol of surrender. And so as we release and surrender into the love of the universe, the unconditional love of the universe, and surrender into our bodies and the alignment that they would like us to have. And now we're rotating. And again, just let that go. When our bodies are soft like this, and our joints are movable, we automatically have, going through each of our cells, we have the calming, healing, enjoyment hormones in the endorphin class. As soon as we become rigid and start to hold any joint especially our shoulders. Our body is then signaled into fear and anxiety. Now notice what I said in the order that I said it. When we start to hold our shoulders, the body is then signaled to be anxious. So the body position can dictate the emotion. So if you're starting to get tense and starting to get anxious and the shoulders are starting to come up, if you simply blow out, physically blow out and drop your shoulders, a whole new message comes into the body. And that message is physical because first we have the thought, then we have the physical movement, and then we get the feeling, then we get the emotion. Coming into quiet stillness now. Let's bring our hands to the lower Dan Tien. And here we're going to envision our Qi. Qi is our energy, but that's the base of Qi. From there, it's energy with a life force to it. And it's energy with life force and a blueprint for our body and our mind and our soul and our spirit. And then with that blueprint is intelligence. But there's a key to the intelligence of the Qi. We could say, well, if the Qi was so intelligent, why wouldn't it keep my body in perfect harmony all the time? Good question. Because the Qi is activated on our intention. We always get to choose. And so whatever I focus on is what I will receive. So if I'm going to focus on the things that cannot happen, or how this person hurt me and what vengeance I need, then that is the energy I'm going to create. If I'm going to focus on receiving information from my body, receiving the feelings that I have, and then deciding if I want them or if I want something different. Getting the information from the feelings that I have. And then acting on that information. So here at the lower Dan Tien, we will set our intention. To set our intention, we call upon the energy of our master. And say, Dear Master, with deep gratitude for all that I have learned, the wisdom, deep gratitude for the growing process, I set my intention today to receive peace from the universe in my body and to emanate peace as I travel in this world today. And now we give the password. I am in the universe. Thy universe is in my body. Thy universe and I combine together as one. The password is an unlocking because it goes with our intention to be connected to the universe, the unconditional love of the universe, and receive that love. You might hold an image in your mind right now, a visualization of your master. And just hold that visualization. Your master could also be your own inner knowing. We're all connected to each other. We're connected to the earth. We're connected to the universe. We're connected to the stars, the galaxies, the solar systems. We're connected to it all. They all have chi fields as well. This rug I'm standing on has a chi field. I feel its warmth and its energy. We're going to bring our hands to this ball that we're going to hold, this energetic ball. Feel your palms. I feel some pressure in my palms. It's very light. And I feel my fingertips from about the last knuckle forward. Just like they're lightly tingling. It's more of an awareness than a... It's not like an electrical shock or anything like that. It's an awareness and a fullness in my fingertips and my palms. This is the chi. And here as we take this energy ball, this is the energy of yin and yang. In a very simplistic definition, it's male and female. Passive and receiving, and active and pushing. And we're mixing these. We're joining them. In yin is always yang. In yang is always yin. Our breathing is through our nose, in through our nose, out through our nose. We have a smile on our face, that soft smile. That too sends messages to our cells to receive those kind hormones, to receive love. Our tongue is touching the roof of our mouth. And as we join yin and yang, you can invite into this ball anyone in your circle of influence that you would like to heal in any manner. Yourself can be in this ball. You can invite in everyone in the whole universe, the whole world if you wish. In this ball is loving kindness, forgiveness, compassion, empathy, direction. As we hold this ball and move this ball, just feel that unconditional love. Allow your hips to be soft. And take this ball now. Walk your right foot out just a little bit so that your body is nicely balanced. A little bit of a horse stance. You're going to raise this ball up to the universe. For me, my ball at this point, as I'm raising it, becomes opalescent, and it just shimmers and glows and vibrates and hums. We're going to hold it up. Feel this ball of energy, and we're receiving unconditional love from the universe into this ball. And as we breathe in, we're going to bend our knees. And as we breathe out, we're going to straighten up. And each time we breathe in, we're going to breathe in the energy of peace. I am peaceful right now. I receive peace right now. And you might say, how can I say that if it's not true? If at this moment it's not true for you, you're either living in the past at this moment and remembering things that happened in the past, so it's memories. Or perhaps you're living in the future and being anxious about what might happen. Peace can be disturbed in those spaces, but we are in the present right now. Observe your body, be present with it right now. Feel the peace in your body right now, in this moment, with this breath. I bring in peace. And then if you go back to the memories, just quietly bring your mind back and say, thank you, mind. I'm sorry you feel that you need to be there. Thank you for coming back. I love you. Just quietly and peacefully invite your mind back into this space. If your arms are tired, slowly let them drop down. But envision them still up. Inhale as you bend your knees. Exhale as you straighten up. Envisioning your hands up, holding that energy ball. Feel the peace. As we exhale, we're releasing any extra energy that's no longer needed by our bodies. Everything came in for a reason. We either invited it in to protect ourselves for some reason. That's usually the biggest one. And do we need the protection any longer? We may need a little bit of it, we may need a lot of it, but perhaps some of it is ready to be released. And if we understand that the energies came in to protect us, we can release them with love and gratitude. And bring in peace and awareness. Into our protection process. One more. Allowing your hands to float down. It's amazing how simple this movement is. And my face is sweating. And that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that, see, and I was going to say I was out of shape, but I am what I am at this moment. There doesn't need to be any shaming. Walk your foot back. We're going to come back to the lower Dan Tien. And we're going to begin the process of harvesting our qi. And in this process, we envision again at the lower Dan Tien, at the navel. We envision the qi spinning like a little tiny orb. We had that big orb in our hands that's now condensed. We had the yin and yang in our hands. Here is the volleyball. We had it large up here. Now it's smaller, and now it's smaller yet. But it's not less. It's concentrated. So watch it spinning faster and faster to the right, and feel the unconditional love that is in that qi and the intelligence that is activated by our intention to both receive peace and to share peace. And as we set that intention, the qi spins faster and faster, and then we invite that little energy ball now, that concentrated qi, which has now become Dan. Dan in Chinese means medicine. Healing means balance. So we're bringing our Dan into our lower Dan Tien to bring in balance and release all the energy blockages in our bodies. And as we invite it in, a Tien is a farm. or a place where things grow. So Dan is medicine, Tien is our bodies. We're bringing that beautiful Qi that's built on unconditional love into our bodies. And now we can also say to ourselves, we have many channels in our bodies. I teach those in our classes. All my channels are open, open, open. All my energy moves smoothly and freely in all my open channels. All my channels are open, open, open. The energy moves freely in my channels in my body, in my mind, in my spirit, and my soul. Our bodies are actually light. Yes, we feel them. Yes, there's muscles. Yes, there's different cells. But between the vibration of each of those cells, there is space. And in that space, there is light. Dr. Deepak Chopra taught me this principle many years ago. Each one of us is actually made of light. Receive the light and the unconditional love of the universe, which brings in peace. The color of peace is yellow. Envision the yellow flowers right now. The sun is being yellow. All that vitamin D as we invite it into our bodies through our skin. And we're going to harvest our Qi now, rubbing our hands together. Warm them. And run your fingers on either side of your nose and up to your forehead, and then trace the hairline. This becomes a heart shape. Say to yourself, I love you, and use your own name. I love you, Roxy. Use your own name as you say this to yourself. We're going to tap on just above on our forehead, right between our eyebrows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the bladder meridian. The bladder is a releasing and a cleansing space. Underneath the eyes, this is the stomach meridian. And that releases anxiety. So if you're getting feelings in your stomach, I know a couple of weeks ago I was getting pieces of nausea all the time, just little tiny bits. And I would tap here and say, what is happening? What would you like me to know? And I know that the world was a little bit more chaotic then for me, and that's released. I don't feel that at the moment anymore. But if it comes back, I will ask it again. What would you like me to do? And it asks me to spend more time and more awareness with myself. Tapping down the body. I'm going to come back to the head in just a minute. So using these cupped hands, we're going to cup our head. I'm going to tap the occipital bone, the back of the head. And we're going to take these ears. We're just going to run our fingers and unfold the ear. And gently come down to the earlobe and give it a little gentle pull. So massage your ears 9 times each. So your fingers are going through the whole ear. I think I'm on number 5, 6, 7, 8. And 9. We're going to rub our kidneys. So this is earth energy that brings in peace. We bring in peace from the earth. It's spleen and stomach energy. We're going to tap our hips. Found my shoulders climbing up again. Just relax those shoulders. For me, we're going to tap our groin right here. Coming down to our knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the backs of our knees. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the left knee. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And up on our toes and drop to the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Namaste. Namaste means the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you for coming. My prayer is that this has blessed your day and that you have peace in your body now that you can share with others.